So, What Culture presents how WWE should book WrestleMania 32. Yeah, 32? 32? Yeah. Part 2. Make sure you go check out my new gaming channel for all you gamers. It's called Tyrone Magnus Gaming. Yes. So let's get it on, What Culture.
So we get to Bray Wyatt versus Brock Lesnar. So obviously at Fastlane, Bray Wyatt and his gang of spooky, hairy, Duck Dynasty, spooky, dude, biker, hairy, bayou boys are going to cost Brock Lesnar the chance to meet Triple H in the main event. It makes sense, it's no DQ, and it's a sort of grudge that Lesnar won't be able to shake. Now, I know a lot of people don't want this match because they don't want Bray Wyatt to lose 3 WrestleManias in a row, and to be honest, he's not going to win here, but sometimes it's not about wins and losses. Don't get me wrong,
True.
Wins and losses do count. If you hand someone nothing but losses, it does. But we have the opportunity to do a whole lot of good for Bray Wyatt here. First of all,
So let's hear
he'll be
this.
sharing microphone time with Paul Heyman. Now, Bray Wyatt is an amazing performer, but he's not the best at structuring his own promos. So Paul Heyman can take him under his wing, cut all the filler, nonsensical riddle bullshit, and just say, Bray, what does he want to say? Okay, we're going to run
that's
this
part of
together,
Bray.
you, me, do.
I don't want that
They
to
can
leave.
craft absolute
Kinda like
magic
the Warrior.
on the stick. If Bray Wyatt can leave this feud having had proper promo lessons by Paul Heyman, then he's set. 2. Bray Wyatt is a really stiff fighter. He's hard hitting. You know, his running tackle, his choke slam, he can be stiff as f. So putting him in a match with Brock Lesnar, it will actually be something to see. There's plenty of opportunities for both men to look like the Beast. After all, countering Sister Abigail into a German suplex, that just writes itself. So, how to not bury the Wyatt family? Well, first of all, you're not burying the Wyatt family if you feature them in a marquee match at WrestleMania, just to, make that point. Second of all, have it be a no-holds-barred match. Because, it's a grudge. They cost Lesnar the belt. He wants to tear Bray Wyatt's hat off and shove it up his bum so his hat becomes his beard. Animate that for me, Sam.
He's like, fuck. Zeus used to come out just standing there hollering in the ring.
Zeus is a human wrecking machine!
Just like
If it's
that.
no holds barred, the family can dominate Brock Lesnar for a lot of the match, and everyone can get their licks in. Rowan, Harper, yes, Braun Strowman, and Bray Wyatt. There can be moments where they are just dominating him and looking ferocious as they do it. Have the commentary team do their job. Have them sell the fact, I've never seen Brock Lesnar take a beating like this. My God, Maggle. Finally, however, Brock Lesnar, of course, fights back. Everyone takes an F5, especially Braun Strowman. Rowan, F5.
I can see that.
Luke Harper, F5. Braun Strowman, F5. Then Bray Wyatt catches him with a Sister Abigail for a very close 2 count. Brock Lesnar fights back into it, counters another Sister Abigail into an F5. 1, 2, 3. Next up, the Divas title, Sasha versus Charlotte. This is going to be a good one. So there are 2 big
Sasha.
stories going into this match. 1, Sasha Banks is
Hey, Sasha,
awesome.
if you're watching.
And 2, Charlotte is really getting upset with her dad. So Ric Flair, the original Dirty Grandpa, has been walking with Charlotte through her title reign so far. He's been helping her out, shucking and jiving, doing that. And basically, he's so happy to see his little girl becoming him. And he's got tears in his eyes at all times. But he started accidentally costing Charlotte, like you've seen on past Raws. She's been getting annoyed with him because he's been, doing his thing on the ring apron, and that cost her a victory against Brie Bella, say. So she can be like, her dad is taking up
I
too much.
loved
spot,
when
like
he
a backstage
kissed
interview.
Becky
She'd ask
Lynch.
her
That
dad
was so
to
funny.
leave the frame. She can spin the story that she's sick of her dad clinging to her to just relive his past success. That rings uncomfortable. comfortably true. So we're at Mania. Sasha has had to fend off Naomi and Tamina for weeks, so she's got a bit of
Where did that
underdog
picture
momentum.
come from?
Charlotte crushed, unfortunately, Brie Bella at Fastlane. Look, I'm sorry, but you can't put the title on Brie just because Daniel Bryan retired. That's a horribly callous thing to say, but right now the money match is Charlotte versus Sasha. It just is. So, at the end of the match, Ric Flair messes up some interference, accidentally distracts Charlotte. Sasha Banks locks in the bank statement, makes Charlotte tap out. We have a new Divas champion. Sasha walks up to the back, holds up her belt, and Charlotte then kicks the crap out of her dad. She knocks him down, makes him cry, slaps him in the face. You know, Ric Flair would love to do this. He can cry at the drop of a hat. She screams at him, "You're no father of mine," and leaves him a crying mess in the middle of the ring. This sets up Sasha versus Naomi for the title, and it sets up Charlotte versus another diva that, say, Ric Flair decides to manage. Maybe Ric Flair decides to manage Becky, and that leads to a big feud between Charlotte and Becky. Then we have the Hall of Fame class, headed up by Sting. That's just nice. So we've got the penultimate main event. It's the Undertaker match. We need a really good opponent for the Undertaker, and that is heel Roman Reigns. So the Undertaker's been on a retirement tour since July. You know, he's done the last
Interesting.
the last SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Hell in a Cell. He didn't do the last Royal Rumble. So maybe there's truth to the rumors that The Undertaker is going to be at WrestleMania this year, but he's going to do one more WrestleMania next year to face John Cena, because that is the dream match, and that will be his retirement match. But we're in Texas.
And he better beat John.
And they're just, I know John Cena is out, and like, if he tries to get back,
fuck John Cena.
if he does his mutant Wolverine superhuman healing factor powers, if he gets back, this will be the match. But 3 months after a projected 6-month minimum. Anyway, it can't be John Cena. So let's have the next best thing, the next most useful thing, what's best for business, have The Undertaker be retired by Roman Reigns. Because The Undertaker's streak is no more. The Undertaker has given that to Brock Lesnar. But there is one last thing The Undertaker can give, one last huge
retrospect. They
burst
should have
of
never
either
did
momentum
that.
or heat he can pass along to another superstar, and that is the honor, the ignoble glory of retiring the dead man. So Fastlane is a triple threat match, and Roman Reigns is facing the two most over baby faces in the company for some reason, and honestly, creative expect him to get cheered by doing this. For months, the Authority have been dicking around Roman Reigns, you know, holding the title near him and then whipping it away just when he's got his fingers on it, and he's starting to get really pissed off. The problem with Roman Reigns is he never seems to take anything seriously. He's graduated from the John Cena school of babyfaces of being, shucks, losses don't mean nothing to me. I'm just happy to be out here in front of the fans. Smile. No, Roman Reigns has to be PO'd that he keeps getting dicked around. A note to WWE, heroes don't just smile all the time. Heroes are passionate, they are righteous, and they get righteously off with injustice. So in the last SmackDown Raw and SmackDown before Fastlane, Roman Reigns just gets the absolute pudding kicked out of him by Lesnar, The Wyatt, the League of Nations, and he's just like, I just want my title, for sake. So, the Wyatts take out Lesnar from the match. They clobber him around and they carry out a prone Lesnar. So it's just Ambrose versus Reigns, the two brothers, like it's been since the Shield broke up, like it was at SummerSlam, at Night of Champions, like it was at Survivor Series,
I can't wait to see what they're going to do with Seth when Seth
at the
comes
Royal
back.
Rumble. These two guys, and it's always been Roman Reigns, it's always been him that seemed like he was going to be the next big guy. And you can see something in Roman Reigns' eyes. You can see he's like, I am not losing this title now. I am not going to lose it again. And he starts wrestling heel. He starts taking Ambrose's head, his friend's head, and smashing it into the turnbuckle, into the floor. There's something in his eyes. The commentators are saying, I've never seen Reigns wrestle like this. He's wrestling heel. The referee has to pull him off Ambrose, and Ambrose is looking at him being like, dude, I get it, but what the hell are you doing? This will turn the crowd even more against Reigns, and they're gonna be against Reigns. Then, after the referee has pulled Roman Reigns off Ambrose, and Reigns has pushed the referee over, then Ambrose catches Reigns in a roll-up. 1, 2, 3. Ambrose is going to WrestleMania, and Roman Reigns is just like... He just looks at Ambrose. Ambrose looks at him and being like, look, what? And then Roman Reigns just spears Ambrose. And he just beats him up, and beats him up, and beats him up. He kicks the crap out of his friend, because in his mind, he's been betrayed by Ambrose. It's truly one versus all. You're no friend to me. He puts Dean through the announce table, leaves him laying, having turned heel. On Raw, Roman Reigns comes out to speak his mind, and all this frustration comes out. He talks about, no matter what I did for the fans, you booed me. I won the Royal Rumble. You booed me. I stood with The Rock. You booed me. I tried, acting like the good guy. I tried taking it to the Authority. You cheered me for a little bit, and then you booed me again. What is it I'm supposed to do? You know what? Fine. I don't want any part of you. I don't want any part of the people who wants to cancel the WWE Network just because I was trying to do my best. This is fine. I don't need fans. I don't need friends. And I don't need family. Out comes The Rock.
I was going to say, out comes
The Rock. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? What do you mean you don't need family? The Rock says, Roman, you are blood of my blood. You cannot turn your back on these people. And Roman Reigns spears The Rock. Because it's always been about the people with The Rock, hasn't it? It's never been about Roman Reigns. It's always been about them, the people's champion. I tried to be the people's champion. The people want none of me, so I want none of them. All of this stuff writes itself because Roman Reigns just hasn't been able to get over properly with the fans. Roman Reigns turns his back on The Rock. The Rock blames
damn hernia injury
and the Authority for doing this to Roman, to driving him out of his mind, which gives Rock more motivation in his match Rousey versus Stephanie McMahon. He hates the Authority and what they've done. Reigns talks about how he's the new face of the company and everyone should just get used to that. He says he could kick John Cena's ass, he could kick The Rock's ass, he could kick Triple H's ass. There's no legend he couldn't destroy. Gone. Out comes The Undertaker. The Undertaker says, you call yourself the big dog of WWE, a hound of justice. Don't forget who the big dog is, and don't forget whose yard you're standing in. You want to prove you're the best in this company? You've got to destroy the Phenom. And Roman Reigns initially wants no part of this match, but he agrees to it if The Undertaker puts his career on the line. Now at this point, you leak it, saying that The Undertaker has delayed his retirement until he can face John Cena. So everyone goes into this thinking that Undertaker is going to beat Roman Reigns. At WrestleMania, Roman Reigns low blows The Undertaker after a long match and hits him with 1, 2, 3 spears in a row and pins him, retiring him. And then he continues to beat him up after the match until people have to drag him away. And then the heat should hopefully be nuclear.
I was going to say, that's some satanic heat.
What's best for business? Because honestly, what draws more money? A baby
Satan's
face
toenail
only half of the universe are behind, or a heel who everyone wants to pay to see their ass get kicked. So, last match, World Heavyweight title match, Triple H versus Dean Ambrose. The story for Ambrose is right there. It's right there. For most of 2015, he's been millimeters away. He's had his fingertips on the belt. And he's been screwed by the Authority from step one, ever since the Shield broke up. And who gave the assassination order? Triple H. The Authority screwed him out of the Money in the Bank briefcase. Ambrose had that won. And then Ambrose had it won at Elimination Chamber, but it was reversed on a technicality. Then Ambrose had it won at Money in the Bank, but the title just slipped out of his fingers. Ambrose almost had it won at Survivor Series, but he couldn't quite make it. Ambrose almost had it won at Royal Rumble, but Triple H got rid of him. Ambrose is the true blue-collar hero. He's the guy that's been slapped around for all year by the Authority. he deserves it way more than Roman Reigns at this point. The fans have been desperate for Dean Ambrose to get serious, to cut the goofball shtick, and to become this pissed-off son of a bitch that he was in his feud of the year with Rollins in 2014. So, step one, Triple H forces Dean Ambrose to not only fight in the main event at Fastlane, but earlier that night, defend his IC title against Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens beats him,
KO.
away with the IC title. Kevin Owens attacks Dean Ambrose before the match even starts, injures him, and uses that momentum to win the title off him. Then Ambrose goes into the match, the triple threat match at the end of Fastlane, taped up, but he still comes away with the victory. You know, he's starting to really look like a hero who's put in endurance, unlike they let Roman Reigns do at Royal Rumble. I don't hate Roman Reigns, by the way, it's just he's been booked so badly that it just doesn't make sense for him to be the hero at this point. After Fastlane, Triple H doesn't take Ambrose seriously. He's just like, you're just a lunatic, you'll never be the face of this company. And Ambrose is like, yeah, you ain't seen nothing yet. Have you seen the way Ambrose has been acting with Brock Lesnar? He looks amazing. Yeah. He looks like the kind of guy who gets slapped down and keeps coming back.
He's not scared.
Slapped down, but won't stay dead. He's the new Mick Foley. Ambrose says, I'm more dangerous than you can possibly imagine. Destroys Triple H's office, destroys Triple H's car, you know, all the usual stuff. So Triple H is on the Titantron and Ambrose is in the ring. And Triple H is a little bit worried about this unhinged lunatic, so he says, Dean, I've got a little insurance policy. You see, at the Mania match, I'm going to have a special guest referee. Someone who is a little close to me. Dean Ambrose turns to sweet-ching music from Shawn Michaels. HBK will be the special guest referee. So Dean Ambrose decides to get the power from his own. He decides to add a special enforcer to the match, someone to be in his corner. And that is a guy who's also had run-ins with a suited authority figure, who is a blue-collar hero who enjoys a beer now and again. It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. Triple H versus Ambrose.
Give me a hell yeah!
With Austin in Ambrose's corner. So it's Mania, out comes Ambrose looking determined, out comes Triple H descending from the heavens on a lion made of giant testicles. So we're in the match and Shawn Michaels is obviously favouring Triple H. Triple H low blows Dean Ambrose, but there's no DQ from the ref. Ambrose hits dirty deeds, but Shawn Michaels refuses to count. Then Triple H rolls up Dean Ambrose, and there's a fast count, but he doesn't quite get to the 3 before Stone Cold Steve Austin pulls Michaels out of the ring. They get into it. Steve Austin gets in Michaels' face, eats a sweet chin music from Shawn Michaels. He rushes back into the ring as Triple H hits Ambrose with a pedigree. He goes 1, 2, Ambrose kicks out. Triple H goes for another pedigree. Ambrose hits dirty deeds. HBK refuses to count again, but he turns around into a stunner from Steve Austin.
There it is.
Triple H, he gets a stunner. He hits the stunner, doesn't fall down, turns around into a second dirty deeds. Ambrose covers him. A second referee races down. 1, 2,
like that, baby.
Ambrose is finally.
Put me a damn beer.
And Steve Austin raises his hand, and the two share a beer on the grand stage
see?
of the mall. There could be a rematch, and then who's next in line but the top heel in the company, Roman Reigns. Whew. And I am done. That is how I would book the entirety of WrestleMania 32.
Hashtag Adam for creative.
If so, tell me about it in the comments.
Start this.
Like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter here. I'm Adam.
Hashtag
and I'll see
Adam
you soon.
for creative. That's all that needs to be said. My little doggy is crying in the back, which means that he probably peed on himself in the bed, and I gotta change him. So I'm gonna have to get going. But Adam, a great job as usual, man. Post all your comments down below. Let me know what you thought. I absolutely love the second part. I agree with it all, pretty much. I would absolutely like to watch that whole show. The first part, certain one things but second part, definitely good. All the main events, great. 1 million subscribers. Woo!